Why are there multiple forces that describe how matter interacts with itself? My intuition tells me that there's no actual need for multiple forces to describe how matter interacts with itself. There would be no need for that. Why do 4 different forces exist?
That is a very fun and deep question, because ultimately, we don't know why the universe is the way it is. Why do we have this variety of particles? Why do they have these kinds of interactions? Why is there a force of gravity and electromagnetism and weak nuclear and strong nuclear? Are there more forces of nature that we have yet to discover, and so on? It's hoped that ultimately, someday in the future, we can develop a so-called theory of everything that is able to explain why we have this particular universe and not a different kind of universe. But we don't know if we'll ever develop a theory of everything. And the reason that we describe nature using different forces is because we view a variety of different interactions. So if I drop a ball, it falls to the ground, and I see this phenomenon, I call it gravity, and I develop a theory of how gravity works. But if I electrically charge that ball, if I make it made out of metal and then I electrically charge it and I put a magnet on the floor, the ball behaves differently. And I need a different set of equations of mathematics to describe that, because I have a completely different phenomenon now that I'm dealing with that has nothing to do with gravity. And so observations force us to explain the universe using different fundamental forces and combinations of those forces. We have discovered through our work in high energy theoretical physics that at very high energies, the forces of nature do merge together. So for example, we have the electromagnetic force and the weak nuclear force. In normal everyday situations, these forces look and act completely differently. The electromagnetic force is responsible for radiation and electricity and magnetism. And the weak nuclear force is responsible for radioactive decay. And at first glance, these have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But we have discovered at a certain energy, these two forces merge together into a single unified force. And we suspect that at incredibly high energies, all the forces of nature merge together into a single unified force. But we don't know what that is.
And there was a split, wasn't it? Just after the Big Bang.
Exactly. In the very earliest moments of the Big Bang in the early universe, we do believe that all the forces of nature were merged together, and that very quickly, in a matter of the tiniest fraction of a second, those 4 forces split off from each other.